You are listening to the Parkflyerpodcast, where we discuss our RC adventures.
Welcome to the Parkflyerpodcast, where we discuss the ups and downs of the new RC Flyer. Join your hosts, Michael and Jay, as they take flight at the park. Now on with the show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Parkflyer Podcast. I'm Michael from Arizona, and with me always, my good friends.
Jay from, I keep wanting to say from the hills of Texas, but you gotta fly high if you're gonna be low in the low country of South Carolina.
See, that's a long intro. Shannon?
Shannon G in Mesa AZ, I think. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he's in Mesa. So we're going to take a little vote here because my wife came up with a good one from the shores of South Carolina, from the shores of South Carolina. She said it's really short and you're right there, or the beaches, because you're pretty close to the beaches. You just practice it. Yeah. But one of our listeners definitely said, hey man, Jay's got to get a good moniker. So we were working on that. It just, I don't know. It just, the hills of Texas just rolls off your tongue, and this one's troublesome. So maybe we'll reach out. If you have a suggestion for Jay, send us an email at theparkflyerpodcast.com. See if.
Well, how about you unpack the mirror and you can practice it in front of it?
That's true too. Or he can just turn this on and just practice it here
in another room.
He can just up on a box.
He can just log into this one and just kind of
yeah.
So, well, hey everybody, welcome back to the Parkflyer Podcast. On this week's episode, we were just a bunch of friends talking about RC, some of the events that come out, and some of the news. If you have anything you want us to talk about, give us a shout to parkflyerpodcast.com or go to our Facebook listeners page. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, check out the YouTube channel. We got some videos up there. Send us some info, new airplanes, pictures, whatever it is you have. And we'd love to interact with our listeners. This is a new month. September rolls around, and it's seasonably cooling off here in Arizona. So we're excited about being able to get out to the field. I know that the last couple of times that I got a phone call and said, hey, come on out. By the time you get out there, it's just like, okay, that's it. I'm done. It's your batteries are all warm already and 200 degrees, your car's melting. You can't take anything that's hot glued out or it falls apart in the air. It's one of those crazy things. But we enjoy hearing from you. It's always fun to hear from our listeners. And hopefully, like I said, we got some events coming up that we can get out there and meet you face to face. In the news, I didn't mention it in the last podcast. It happened right as we were recording that one, but Team USA did win the FIA F3A. They took the gold, so we want to congratulate those guys. I know it takes a lot of practice, raising the roof. We had a lot of participation, I think, in both the Nats and this FIA stuff. So we are very impressed that these guys had put forth the effort, went out, and to take gold is an achievement any way you slice it. So we appreciate them and the effort that they put in there, and congratulations. So the other thing in the news, we just finished up. In case you didn't know, August was basically RC month. It was like the RC Fly Day. I think they had that on the 18th, and of course, it was 900 degrees here. I was working
too hot to fly.
Too hot. But if you did get to fly, send us some pictures of it once again. And
flew my Vapor indoors.
There you go. Fly the Vapors. Flew my little quadcopter around my shop. So
that is so funny that it's totally opposite than when I was like up in Alaska. Well, during the summer, you guys all run inside, barely go outside to fly, where we're just flying till 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, because we can't, because the sun's still up, Right.
Yeah, but then when it was cold, man, you had to have like your transmitter in a heated box to fly. So
that's true too.
I know it is extremes. There's got to be some place in the U.S. That you can fly pretty much year round. Hawaii, maybe. Who knows?
Pretty much, yeah.
Somewhere around in there.
They're actually having a big. They're having their RC Air Show this coming weekend, part of the Labor Day.
That's right.
So I've always wanted to go to that thing.
Oh, put it in the budget.
You're in Hawaii for something. Yeah. We'll put it in the budget. Just like,
yeah, definitely. We take your motor home.
Right?
We can drive it right on over there.
Just drive around. We'll put floats on it like a Scooby-Doo. Just make it put it up.
You'd be the biggest vehicle on the island if we took that over there.
That's true. Probably
they wouldn't even know what to do with you.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to park anywhere.
I was going to say that'd be a bad thing. Hey, you missed the turn. Oh crap, we got to go around the island again.
That's right. All the way around and come back. Unless you're in Kauai, then you can't go all the way around there. You have to go up, turn around, and come all the way around. That's crazy. So, yeah, no doubt. Just build. I could just put bigger tires and off road that thing if we wanted to get to there.
Or we can get your modular shed just sent there. We can set it up there, and yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Jay was talking about getting a shed for his backyard before we logged on, so he was telling us the stories about that. But let's see, a little bit of news. We have a couple of new releases from Horizon Hobbies. We thought we'd touch on some of those. They just are pre-ordering. Of course, we talked earlier about the pre-order for the Airbus 320 Neo. I'm actually it's in my cart. I just haven't clicked on the button yet. But I'm one of those guys that, do I do the first one? Do I wait for version 2? I can't ever decide. And then I'm thinking, well, it ships in September, which is this month, so it should start shipping. I kind of want, the white one, so I can put my own logo on there, my own livery, and
then you're gonna be that guy who gets the production where they're all left wings in the box. for both wings.
I hope not.
What? No.
Exactly. Well, it would be nice to have for the Electric Festival when it rolls around to have, because I'm sure there'll be many of those guys have them out there. But it's 64 millimeter EDF. If you haven't pre-ordered it, or if you're looking for one, Horizon Hobbies has that in pre-order. They also released the new Erratics, which is what I have sitting in the background there. I personally have the flat foamy one. It flies wonderful. I really love this airplane. This was a gift from Scott. He sent it over to me. I did some work for him, or helped him out with some stuff. And you're
still doing work for him. What do you mean?
Yeah, well, the airplane behind us still. But
what's it leaning up against?
It's leaning up against a jet. But anyway, he got that for me because he has one, and it's like his go-to airplane. He takes it out and flies it everywhere. And I live on a little bit of acreage, and so I can literally just step outside and fly that thing around. Although it is made out of foam, and I was a little worried about the foam melting out in the last couple of nights, because he kept asking me, "Hey man, have you flown it?" And I go, it's barely survivable if you step outside with the dogs at the crack of dawn, just to let them out. But the battery uses is a 6-cell. I mean, I'm sorry, it's 600 milliamps. It's bigger than the airplane. Okay, let me correct myself.
It's got a Hemi on it.
More power. Or just a long cord.
Yeah, a long cord. You just plug it into the wall and it flies around. It uses a 350 to a 600 milliamp battery. That's what I meant to say. A 600 milliamp battery.
There we go. Phew.
And so, unfortunately, when you fly that thing into 3D, it does get hot. And with it being 100 degrees outside, that little battery heats up quite a bit. So, and it sits right by the motor. So, those are really nice batteries. I didn't want to ruin them. They're brand new, and so I didn't push them as hard as I could have. But it's a great airplane. It's really, really fun. AK Mike has flown it, so he liked it, and it's really easy to fly right out in my front yard. So if you don't have one of those flat foamy ones, they're really a great addition. However, the new release from Horizon Hobbies is the Erratics 3D SWS, which is now the full-size wood built-up version of this one. It looks almost identical in color, right? They colored it the same, so it's familiar. But this one's 64-inch wood. It comes in both the almost ready to fly and a bind and fly, or plug and play, whatever you want to call it. And they are pre-ordering for that as well. So those are kind of neat. I like those products. They I like the bigger 64 inches are just perfect. They run off of a 6-cell. It's haven't heard any bad reviews on it, but I think it's just coming out, so we'll have to kind of see where that is. So yeah, check out horizonhobbies.com for their Erratics 3D SWS if you would like to pre-order it, and let us know. Let us know how what's your thoughts. The other one, since I mentioned that AK Mike had flown this one, is also, if you're on the Horizon Hobbies site, they do have the Carbon Cub 1.3 meter Cletus McFarland version. If you don't know who Cletus McFarland is, he's a YouTube guy, and he's got a channel, and he does a lot of aviation stuff and has done some RC stuff. And the RC stuff has kind of got him into the bigger airplane stuff. And he's got a carbon cub that has a specific color scheme, and Horizon Hobbies basically matched the color scheme and did it in a 1.3 meter. The reason I say it's perfect for AK Mike is because it's a 3-cell 2200 milliamp right in his wheelhouse. Doesn't even have to buy new batteries. So,
well, I was going to say, is it all white or all blue? Or?
It's not all white. It's yellow. It's yellow, black, and gray. It's got stars on it. It's really a nice color scheme. It looks kind of cool. But I know Mike had he built a kind of put together a Nemesis, and we had been texting back and forth because he was asking some questions about it. I went out and flew it. The motor wasn't acting right, I think, and so he fixed some of that, and then went out and flew it. And I think he just sent us a text yesterday, the day before, that said it tip stalled on landing, and he kind of dinged it up a little bit. So it sounds repairable, so we'll see how that goes. But the Carbon Cub 1.3 meter Cletus is right in his battery choice of batteries. So that's a good one. So if you haven't checked that one out, you can get that too. It's new. It's been out a little bit, but it's still considered one of their new attractions. That's not in pre-order. You can actually purchase it. And then the other pre-order is actually coming from Motion RC. It's their new Ares 3 90mm EDF jet. It is a vectored thrust. Looks a lot like a Viper jet.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's the Zeus, I think, but more streamlined, and the thrust vectoring making it for 3D. So yeah, it's really cool. I was going to say if we mentioned that. It takes a lot of channels though, like 13 channels.
It does, yeah. You got to have a big radio for it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm out.
You're not going to fly it on a DX6.
New radio.
Yeah.
Or an 8 or a 10. You got to go with like IX14 or above, pretty much.
Well, I have a 20, so we can always hook. If you get one, I'll hook it up to my radio and fly it.
Or a free sky. Most of the free skies.
Most of the free skies
too. So,
that's one of those things. Those vectored thrust. It takes like 2 or 3 channels to move those, and so you've got an up and down, a left and right.
Yep.
It's
and then the gains.
Put that on the gains on channels. So you can do those. I think it's got 2 elevators, a rudder, flaps, gear, doors, the whole thing. So there's a couple of them that it adds up quick. Scott and I were talking about that actually when we were looking at some of these jets, because he was like, I'm going to get this radio, and he decided to get the IX or DX9 like Jay had, and then it was like, I'm going to run out. I told him, if you move into the jet world, you're going to run out of stuff really, really quick. And so he wound up getting a 14.
How long did you have your DX9? Like you had yours for?
I didn't have a DX9. I didn't have a DX9. I had a DX6. I had an IX or DX6i, right? The one of the first ones, and I used that one for a while, and then I bought the DX18 because I started moving into EDFs.
Yeah,
so
I never had a 9. I thought you got a DX9. You had that for a long time, and then
I had the DX18 for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, I had IX12 for a long time. That was one of my go-to for a while.
Yeah, Shannon had an IX12. I remember that one. Matter of fact, when the IX12 came out, I think we did a podcast on that when it first came out with Matt Ventura. So yeah, I had the DX18, the version 2, and that one was my go-to just until recently, within the last 5 years or so, I think, when they came out with the DX20, and I don't know. I was gonna look at that one, and the guys there was some problems with it. A couple of the guys said they were having issues, and I was really nervous. And I'm thinking, well, I'm only getting 2 more channels for a considerable amount more money, and so I was kind of like,
the tray radio too? Wasn't it like more the square one with the that one? The DX20, I thought it was like the tray.
It was a little bit more like a tray. It was a little longer, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of people used it in a tray. But then they came out with the iX20, which is
Right.
the Android version one.
Right.
And that one was the one that everybody's like, okay, they fixed all the stuff that Spectrum had done with whatever problems those guys were having. And I never had a problem with my DX. Like, I've never had a Spectrum problem. Some guys complain about it, they go, it drops out or whatever. But Jay and I have been Spectrum users since the early days, like when they first came
Same
out.
here.
And we've used all of those. I owned a JR, I think, at the very, very, very beginning, a long million years ago. And it worked great. But then when Spectrum came out with their, DSM and the 2.4 gigahertz, I was flying at Gilbert Quiet Flyers when everybody was out there with their antennas. You had to check it in. And a funny story, I walked out there with that new DX 6 or whatever it was. And I walked right out to the field and everybody's like, hey, you got to check that in. I'm like, no, I don't. There's no antenna. It's a 2.4 gigahertz. And anyway, they were all like a little confused. What the heck is that thing? Yeah,
what
it was.
What in tarnation is
I
that
know, right?
newfangled radio?
It was funny. But they were nice about it. Nobody really gave me any hassle, but they were kind of like nervous, because I'm out there flying with it, and I just kind of like, Jay, put a new battery in, go back and fly. And they're like, no, you got to give everybody else a turn. We're all kind of on different frequencies. I'm like, I'm not interfering with anybody, so I'll just go fly out here in the parking lot. But yeah, I have lost airplanes because of the receiver version, but I don't think I've ever had anything. I've never lost an airplane because of the radio portion.
I think, it's just everyone's got their favorite brand, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
And there's just certain things that if you didn't set up an airplane with Spectrum properly,
correct,
it was going to have problems in that. But that comes down to the setup,
right,
not the technology itself. So, like if you ran a low quality speed control with a real rinky dink BEC in it, or you ran a cheap BEC and it cuts out too soon.
Right.
That's not the Spectrum technology.
Yeah. And I think that back then the DSM X and the DSM 2, I think the 2 was first, but the DSM 2
was first and X came later.
Yeah. And so the DSM 2, a lot of people kind of copied that receiver, and I know there were orange receivers and lemon receivers and grape and whatever they were. No, everybody had one. And I was lucky enough in the early years to be friends with one or two of the test guys on some of those equipment, so I was able to kind of get the inside information on it. And we kind of found our favorites and kind of used those. But then now Spectrum is down to where it's like a postage stamp. They just stick it in there. It's a little button, and it's crazy, the technology that they've come so far. So, but I do still have my DX18. As a matter of fact, if people come to the shop, I have the simulator, and you can fly on the DX18 on the simulator. So they just stand at that little big screen TV behind me there, and they can fly around. But the iX20 has all the channels that I need so far. I haven't got into the super jumbo size RC airplanes that require 2 radios, or 2 receivers, and 2 pilots. So, because I know they're out there. I've seen a couple of YouTube videos. Yeah, not yet. Somebody will probably talk me into it. So, but anyway, totally lost my train of thought there. But we were talking about the new Motion RC having so many receivers. So, but Spectrum is great. I know people have Jetties and they have the Free Skies, and everybody has their favorites. But it's worked for me really well. And when you start getting into these different airplanes that have all these different modes on them, then you're needing more and more channels. So you just got to be cautious. So having said all that, going back to Scott got the DX14, iX14, and then he wound up buying 2 jets that are going to require a 20 channel radio. So he's going to be flying my radio, I'm pretty sure, because that thing's got speed brakes and landing gears and gear doors and pilot that turns his head, the whole deal. So it's kind of cool to have all that stuff, but you got to decide what's more important, the elevator or the pilot turning his head. So I have a tendency to err towards the elevator. Seems to be the most correct thing to do. Yep. And then one last call out to any of the club presidents. If you are a listener and you think you're club president, we're putting together kind of a podcast on these club presidents. We have 4 or 5 of them that have already volunteered. We're just trying to finalize that. Shannon's taking the reins and doing a good job. But he said one more time, if someone wants to participate in there and kind of be on the podcast and talk about their clubs, some of the best practices, and you're welcome to kind of reach out to us here at the Parkflyer Podcast at gmail.com, or you can reach us on the Facebook listeners group. Shannon kind of watches that, so he can reach out to you. But it'll be a great time. We're just trying to nail down putting 4, 5, 6, 7 guys together all on the same day is a little bit troublesome, but we're going to make it work. Shannon's going to lead it out if he has to just be the one that takes all 4 guys, and it just has to work however it's going to work. So we'll get that in there, and hopefully it's coming up here in one of our future podcasts. And then I think you were mentioning the St. George events coming up too.
Yep, September 19th and 20th up at St. George, Utah. And actually, a lot of guys come in even earlier than that. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Saturday is a big day. But it's again shaping up to be a big turnout. A lot of really cool scratch builds. It's kind of like a scratch builder's paradise. I'd shown videos and pictures of our last visit there, and and still trying to figure out if we're going to make it up there or not. I'd love to. It's so much fun.
I have a trip. I'm trying to get out of the trip, but so it's on the list to get out of it. But I'm going to have to wait and see if I can trade out of it. Gotcha. Right at the moment, they're not letting me trade it, but hopefully by mid next month, I should know something.
Yeah,
so we'll try to get to it.
But I've been helping Barrett get some of his planes ready.
Very nice.
With the electronics and getting real close with that. So really excited. Even if I don't get up there, just to see how Barrett fares with his aircraft and all the other guys. Like I said, Scott Ramirez is kind of running it this year, and he's took over from the previous CD who sadly passed away. But it's still great to see that event just thrive. And if you ever do get up there, or just look for videos of the St. George Flyers video field. It's just amazing. It's a beautiful facility, and hope to make it up there again and tear up the sky.
Yep. And then I know it's a little far away, but Wings, it's Holly Springs. Doug and his group is having their Wings Over Springs event in October, I think. I'm pretty sure. And I think it's October 4th. Anyway, Mike, I think, is going out. So Jay's now in short haul for over there. It's an hour or 2 away. So hopefully he'll get to attend that. And I'll see what my schedule brings. Maybe I can get an overnight out that direction and make it. So we'll talk more about that, I think. But Shannon, you have had an incident at your field. You want to run us through
that? So I mentioned on the previous podcast we put new fencing in, like we put in new flight boxes,
right?
And we put in this new fencing all around. It's a little bit taller, a little higher. And I go out there on Saturday. Was it Saturday morning? Yeah, Saturday morning. There's this big chunk out of Flight Station 3, like you could put an airplane through it. That's what happened.
It's an airplane. That's exactly what happened. An airplane did go through it. So.
Yeah, it's like, so guys, what happened? And so we're trying to. No one's fessing up, obviously.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Exactly. Well, and here's the thing. So, the biggest question and the biggest, kind of controversy that we had with, putting the new fencing in was, a lot of us wanted chain link, and a lot of the guys said, well, if I crash my plane into the chain link, it's going to get damaged. Okay. So now that it's not chain link, it's, this plastic netting, we had, it's good quality, but it can only take so much.
Sure. Well,
and this was a big plane from what I can tell. It wasn't like a little foamy. It was something like a big 3D gasser or something. It was big. But it's like, now we've got to, we've got to fix it. And that's a cost to the club. So it's kind of that argument, well, is, should damage cost the club or should damage cost the member? Vice versa. It's kind of a tough choice there. But so we're going to repair it. But we're kind of joking that we said, well, going forward, maybe what we'll do is if whatever panels are damaged, we're going to replace with chain link. So eventually,
there you go.
They'll all get
It's like a little chain link.
It's not cheap.
You will get the chain link that you boys wanted eventually.
Yeah, this take a while. A couple years.
Take a little while.
That is too funny.
But and it happens. It just but it's just like fire extinguishers. We have fire extinguishers at the field. We have them in an accessible area. But kind of the rule is, if let's say you use one, our kind of policy, and it's been accepted for years, is you replace it. They're the little cheap ones. $20 at Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever. But we get some members that just want to. Oh, well, the club just provides that. I don't need to replace that. It's like, really? It's like, and it's like, we go through a couple of those a year. I think there's 2 that I know of just in the last month.
Wow.
So,
and
because yeah, exactly. And it's like, if you fly, turbines, you've got a fire.
Well, that's a different story.
Yeah, you're supposed to. There's some clubs that even like at St. George, I think they were like, you had to have a fire extinguisher at the each station. The club, I think the club provided, but they had the same thing. If you use it,
sure,
get us another one or something. So it's just like, yes, you pay your dues, but if you were spending all your your dues money fixing things, and we can't do the improvements as opposed to the.
So why don't you just do a 60-40 type thing? Like if somebody crashed into the fencing or netting or whatever, they're responsible for 60, and the club picks up the 40, or something like that.
If we had them on camera, we could catch them.
Yeah, that's the problem.
From what I heard, is the person like literally hit the fence, packed up and left.
I hit your car. Sorry. I'm gone.
Yeah, oops.
If you can't prove it, though, I just want to let you know.
Yeah.
No.
We've all had members like that where they get a little frustrated. Oh,
well,
here's my ego, but you're right, the fence.
Right. And I'm sure it was probably more an ego and embarrassment. They've been, they probably was someone like, oh, let's not pay for that. And then all of a sudden it's like, holy crap, I just ran into the fence.
Yeah.
So, now I will tell you that, we had, we had ours out, the big long wings that, went down the runway. And I did see a couple of our club members, cheese grate their airplanes down to a nub, it just going down. Oh yeah, it is devastating. The chain link fence is devastating to an aircraft, especially if it's got any speed to it. If you just run into it, usually you can break a prop or something. I've seen that happen, but I've seen guys, full speed ran off the side and just, it went through the fence like a dust
splinters.
powder. So I get it, because you spend a lot of money on, a warbird or something that goes, especially if you had a gear collapse, and it's not going to be that big of a deal just to run off the side. But then again,
but it's only the flight stations. We have the full fence on either side.
Right.
So if you're going to hit, what if you hit that fence versus the pilot box fence? What's the difference?
What's the difference?
It's
and that fence, actually, I remember an event a couple years ago, I think, where somebody hit that fence, and all those spectators were sitting there, and an airplane because that's a tall fence on the left-hand side. And I remember that airplane got out, and something happened. It rolled over and went right into the top of that fence, and everybody was like, "Whoa!" But it didn't go into the crowd. So
exactly,
got to give
or into the pilot,
or into the pilot.
Like, I don't, if I'm going to crash, if I crash my plane into the flight box I'm flying at, I'd rather be sure that the plane's going to stop rather than it runs into
come
me.
through,
or into another pilot in another flight box. It's like I'm more concerned about the pilot safety than the aircraft safety.
And I've actually seen that happen too at our field, where somebody was in the pilot box, and big P-47 was started up and got loose and came flying in right into the pilot station and just smashed into it. Now the airplane did get destroyed, but the pilot jumped back. Luckily, didn't get hurt. He got some balsa dust on him, and kind of flung some stuff at him. But
he lives to fly another day.
Yeah. Well, how that goes. But So
it is what it is.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
hopefully
the good news is that you're trying to accommodate everybody, which kudos to you. It's difficult when you got half and half, and you kind of got to please everybody, and you kind of got an idea, but you're good at that. So we know that you're striving to do a good job, and your club does do a job. So put a new one out there, and eventually, I think sometimes obviously it's going to hurt the airplane too. Plastic or no plastic, it's probably as much damage, but it's still going to hurt it. So it'll get some road rash. Having said all that, man, this I was expecting us to be able to chat for longer, but man, our time is up already.
We're out of time.
Wow. It's just crazy. It's kind of funny with some of the stories they get. We get along one story and
we're way over here. We're way over there.
We were so let us know. So what's that?
I said sometimes you got to reel it back in.
Yeah, reel it in there. Yeah, we get off topic and then our time runs out. So, but that's what it's about. We're just out having a good time, and we want to hear from you. So, give us a heads up if your club has chain link or plastic, or what your thoughts are on that. We'd love to hear from you.
Or paper, plastic,
or paper. Yeah, you probably have cardboard boxes, whatever works. Yeah, that's what I have. That's what I have out in front. I have just a cardboard box. I stand behind it.
Yeah,
I feel so much safer. Not really. We appreciate you attending our podcast this week. We love to have you, and I love hearing from our listeners, and it's always fun to meet you guys and to hear what you have to say. We take every bit of it with a grain of salt. So there we go. But anyway, Jay, you got anything out on the horizon? You got fields going to? I know you got a bunch of Jay's poor guy. He's been at the doctor's most of the last 2 weeks, so he's trying to get his health in order after the move, and that's a big thing, especially from a veteran, which we appreciate it. But when you go from one place where you've been, specific, and then you move to a whole nother location, and you got to go get your eye doctor and your ear doctor and you
got to figure out who you like, where you got to go.
Right.
My biggest thing this week was that they said, hey, you got to show up for this thing and, go here to, have this test done. I'm like, okay. And I show up there and I'm like, hey, I'm here to do my test. And they're like, yeah, we do. Who are you? I'm like, well, set it up. And they were like, yeah, but there's 5 different hospitals or 5 different, places you can go. Which one? And I'm like, this one? And they're like, yeah, no, we don't have you down here. Or you have to go, another hour that way, this is the hospital you're supposed to be at. I'm like, oh, well.
Thanks.
Well, it is kind of, luckily for you, you're in a state that does have military bases. So I'm sure that they're way more accommodating than if you moved somewhere that didn't have all that stuff. But we understand and still trying to get settled in. So we're in your corner. So we appreciate it. So want you to stay healthy. Other than that, Shannon, we mentioned everything. Anything that you got a jet rally coming up?
Jet rally in November.
Yeah, November
is coming up. We'll talk about that more.
All right, maybe we'll see it, Jeff and how do I say it? Jeff, Jags. Yeah, the one in St. George. What it's called?
St. George.
Jeff.
JMEFF.
JMEFF. Okay.
JMEFF.
Yeah. Something like that. Started with a J.
Yep.
Jeff. JMEFF. I can't even tell. Anyway, all right. I'm Michael from Arizona.
And I'm Jay from the low country of South Carolina.
And Shannon G in Mesa AZ.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Let's fly.
That sounded pretty good.
It did sound pretty good.
Thank you. I was practicing.
The whole time he had his muted and was practicing. Oh, that's awesome.
You have been listening to the Park Flyer Podcast. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to your next visit. Please give our show a star rating and review, and feel free to email us your questions, topics, or suggestions to parkflyerpodcast@gmail.com.